you're looking lovely.
Thank you.
She's
wearing your jewelry.
Thank you so much. Looking lovely. So Purva is the creative head for 079 Stories, and we are in conversation with her today. So Purva, I'm going to dive straight into this. And the first question I want to ask you is art under 20. That was through COVID, where nobody was doing any work and everything was shut. You launched a very noble concept to sell and promote art under 20,000. So did you want to tell us more about it?
Sure. Hi, Aditi. Hi, everybody. So basically, let me just brief you a little about 079 of years back as an art and cultural space in Ahmedabad, where the main motive was to promote art and culture, where it houses an art gallery, an amphitheatre, studio workshop spaces. And yes, during the times of COVID, we were way too idle, getting into way negative things. And that's where I actually thought, let me just start with an initiative where most of the people were donating in the PM fund, taking care of the migrant workers. I thought art is a very niche field, a very small field. And there are artists, the young and the emerging artists. They also are actually suffer during most of the times. I know I have seen when their artwork is sold and when I hand them the money, they feel, oh, we'll be able to buy, renovate a studio or buy something nice, like an air conditioned. Like I have come across a lot of artists where during Diwali time they said, oh, with this, because this is sold, I'll be able to buy an air conditioned or a refrigerator for my house. So that's when it struck me that during this times, even they'll be going through a very tough time. And let me start an initiative where I invited the artists all over India. And we had around 200, 300 entries submitting their artworks, and with a reason why they need to put art on sale, what is the reason and what is their current scenario. And we shortlisted around 50 artists with their original artworks, and we started this online campaign through just our Instagram, where we showcased more than 500 original artworks of these artists. So that was one side of it. And I approached the senior artists whoever I am in touch with, like Manu Parekh, Paresh Maiti, Jayashri Burman, and they were really happy to donate in this cause as well. And that's where they donated their artworks in this sale under 20,000, where the amount that we raise, we share it to the artists, the younger artists who are in need of it. So that's how we initiated this campaign. So it was a win-win for everybody. The artist gets recognition through a gallery, and the buyers get good artworks at a good price. So that is how the whole initiative was started.
Okay, and I think it went really well. I bought a ton of art from you, and I'm sure you made it accessible. So great going. And I think you're one of the very few galleries who actually have picked up the concept of making art accessible. I mean, and that I think opens up a big market, and I'm sure you'll find a lot of buyers within the FICCI community as well. So going forward, my next question is why 079 Stories? I mean, like, honestly, I have known you since childhood, and I never thought you would be this person today, which I'm really proud of. But tell me, like, what and why?
Yeah. So even if I go back 20 years back, I don't think I would have even thought about art. And yeah, I have been very passionate about art. And my sister has been a great influence in that. But why 079 Stories? It's a long journey. So this idea of 079 Stories was actually conceived a decade back. I was in Bombay Bombay for a few years with my husband, and that's where I was an HR. I was into HR, into recruitments and headhunting. And when I came back to Ahmedabad, then a lot of downfall happened with me, not in terms of work, but and that was traumatic. Where I couldn't even, I didn't want to go back to work and into that mundane routine of corporate work, recruiting people. And that's where and I suffered a lot of postpartum also after my first kid was born. And that's where I think the whole idea about being creative, of doing something of my own in a different way, and not the mundane routine, struck me, where I just started the whole idea that, I will construct a space and just have an exhibition gallery where I could curate my own shows, be it fashion, be it art. But this was like 10 years back. And when we started working on the designs of the place. So my architects are B.V. Doshi's firm, his granddaughter Kushnu and Zone K. And we did like 3 years, we brainstormed on the design of 079 stories and what actually I wanted. And that's where the whole process and the whole idea of 079 stories erupted. With an amphitheater. Being an avid traveler, I used to just, go to museums and galleries across whenever I would travel and get some ideas, go to exhibit galleries. And every time I would come up with a new brilliant idea saying, you know what, now I want a cafe. You know what, I think now I want an artist workshop space. Now, okay, I want to curate a fashion show in a space. And that's how, we narrowed down to an only art gallery so as a cultural hub, basically. So it is though it is operative since 2 years, the conceptualization is almost a decade back.
Okay, so I mean, in a nutshell, 079 is not just an art gallery. It's a place where art meets culture, and I know you also conduct kids workshop. You did the Potter's Market. Tell us more about that. What made you do that, and what was the idea, and how was it?
So the Studio Potters, I actually worked very closely with a ceramic artist, and we did a 2-man show. An artist from Oman, an abstract visual artist from Oman, and a local ceramic artist from Ahmedabad, Kunjan Dalal. And I actually even started taking workshops from him to learn pottery, more about Studio Potters, pottery, and how ceramic as an art evolves. And that's where I got in the whole idea, where I thought, let's do something related to pottery. And I think a woman's best friend is always, household things. No matter what, we end up looking at different kinds of crockeries and household things. And that's where I realized there's so many different techniques in ceramic Studio Potters also. The colors that we get, the effects that we get, there's raku firing, and there's so much of different kinds of, and I just got so intrigued seeing it. And I was like, Ahmedabad needs to see this. So there is Studio Potters Market happening all over India during the whole year. But it has never happened. Ahmedabad, in Gujarat only happens in Baroda, being the cultural hub. So I thought, why not we try it in Ahmedabad and see how the response is? And it was phenomenal, phenomenal. Even the Studio Potters that came across India were so overwhelmed with the response. I think it was one of my biggest hit as a market. We did a lot of workshops during that time, giving knowledge about Studio Potters. And there were curated tours, understanding different methods and techniques used for ceramic pottery. There were lots of ceramic artists from all over India that had come. We had done sculptures, we had portrait sculptures, we had put a sculpture space also. So big ceramic artists who do their sculpture work had showcased their sculptures. Yes. And I think it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
So Purva, tell me something, and this is something that intrigues me as well. You don't come from a family who has an art gallery or that sort of connection. You conceived the idea on your own. You evolved over the past evolved and eventually reached where you are. But then in the past 2 years that the gallery has been live, how have you managed to get such big artists from Paresh Maiti to Brinda Miller to Muzaffar Ali? Like, I mean, like how do you do it? Like, I mean, tell us more.
So I think that's where the journey of an entrepreneur starts. As I said, the idea was conceived 10 years back. So when the construction started,
Purva, can you repeat that?
Almost 3.5 years once the design was finalized. And that 3.5 years, I traveled extensively. Sure. Can you, hello?
Yeah,
hello?
We cannot hear what you're saying, Purva. Can you repeat that, please?
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
is it
now
clear?
better.
Audible?
Yes, much. Thank you.
Yeah. So as I said, my construction of this place lasted for 3.5 years. And in those 3.5 years, I traveled extensively all over India. Whenever I was traveling abroad, I used to go to a lot of art galleries, meet a lot of artists, and, just gain knowledge out of it. Just understand the working of how it works and what goes behind an art gallery, what goes behind an artist. So I'm not an art collector, nor am I an artist, but my passion is definitely into art. And that's where the entrepreneurial side comes in picture. That's exactly I did a lot of collaborations with art galleries. I tried understanding the model, how I could sustain, because with bigger artists, hand holding becomes very difficult in India. When an established artist is not ready to meet a new gallery, they are not even ready to entertain you. And the hand holding only happens if you're a collector, or if you have a certain kind of influence, I would say, with the artist. And that's where I think my collaboration with different art galleries. So that's also, no art galleries usually collaborate. And that's where I came to picture with a new model, saying that I want to collaborate with art galleries across India. And
bring them to Ahmedabad, right? That's the...
Bring them to Ahmedabad and take my Ahmedabad artists to their galleries.
Okay.
So collaboration both ways, where the Ahmedabad-based artist also gets an exposure in cities. So that's the whole model that I started working on, and that's how a lot of new the space, I think, also made it quite promising for the artists. So when we actually launched 079 Stories Art Gallery, we had Paresh Maiti's sculpture, which weighed around 700 kgs, which traveled from Sydney to China, and it came to Ahmedabad at 079.
That's impressive. I remember that sculpture.
Yeah, the the sound of silence. Yeah. So that's how the whole journey as an entrepreneur with no art background started. I am a diploma in communications and advertising marketing from New York. So I think now that is playing a lot of sense here as an entrepreneur also.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me something, Purva, on a more practical note. Say someone wishes to buy art and doesn't really know much about it, but would like to know, are you as a gallerist, do you guys offer that service? Like, do you guys help out in curating, in suggesting for maybe a corporate house that they're building, or a house that they're building? I mean, do you guys offer such services at all?
Absolutely, Aditi. We work as a wholesome art gallery where we even source artwork with the artist that you're looking for. We suggest, we consult them with the ideas, what will go, what not will go. So I have been working on a project from Surat during these times, where I have not met the buyers, and
Okay.
they've completed, I've been consulting them and curating for their house according to the sizes and the pictures that I see. And it
Okay.
has been wonderful experience, right from a Sri Lankan art. We've put up works right from a Sri Lankan artist, Sanyaka,
Yeah, I know
to
Sanya.
Paresh Maiti, to Ahmedabad local artist as well. So it's been a wonderful journey till now. Yes, we do consultations, we do give you options, and we also source art with whatever artist that you're looking at.
Okay. And these under 20 artworks that you had displayed earlier over the summer, like if someone who completely missed out on that and they were brilliant, like, trust me, like I picked a bunch. Like, is there access to that at all for anybody
Yes.
who absolutely missed out on them? How do they reach out?
Yes, there is access to it. It is there on our Instagram portal 079 Stories,
Okay.
and it's on our website as well, www.079stories.com. You'll be able to download the catalogs from there.
Okay.
A lot of artworks have been sold, but yes, and we are going to continue doing this under 20 and under 40,000 artworks, putting a platform to the artists. We've realized that the artists and the buyers, there is a lag between the artists and the buyers. Like, you can find artworks worth 3,000 to 3 crores, but like the smaller range is, the excess is not there.
Yes,
That where
absolutely.
we are trying to fill in the blank gap, and that's where we're going to keep continuing doing this, uh, under 20,000 and under 40,000. But the sale that we had, online art sale during the time of COVID, for the initiative we started, is still there. You'll be able to download the catalogs.
Okay. Well, just one last question, Purva, from my end, and then I'll open the floor for everyone to participate. But what's next on the 079 stories? Like, post-COVID, I mean, everybody gets asked this question a lot, and I'm going to now ask it to you. But what
I
you're
wish
doing
the
now?
current scenario, yes, I wish the current scenario ends at the earliest. We had plans for so basically from August, September is a good time to do host art shows till March. So we had our plans. As I said, we collaborate with galleries. We had plans with a very good gallery from Delhi, and we were going to host a two-man show, contemporary art show. So all this is kept aside, but yes, doing a lot of more art shows, getting a lot of new artists to Ahmedabad, being accessible, and of course, like Studio Potters Market, keep evolving with new ideas and giving something new to the city all the time.
I think, Purva, you've done a brilliant job with 079. I mean, couldn't expect anything more. I'm like, in awe of, what you've done. You brought so much culture to the city. Your place has the vibe, which, I just love dropping in for a cup of coffee. I do it more often than I should. But I think that's that's the energy that the place has, and great going. So, all the best, and I'm going to open the floor up to everyone, so everybody can start their videos and mics, and let's chat with Purva.
Yes.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'd like to be the first one. Hi, Purva.
Hi, Amy.
Yeah, it feels so great. I've known you socially, and maybe our interaction was not so much during the time our kids were, growing up. But I guess knowing your entrepreneurial journey today and how it was conceived and the idea execution, I think it was brilliant the way you describe yourself. Lot of women go through this phase of becoming an entrepreneur when they are pushed with the motherhood and that phase in life.
Yes.
So I think you have taken the opportunity brilliantly. There was one question though I would really like to ask you.
Yeah, sure.
See, basically, I don't understand art much, but I've heard that art basically also is a very good investment tool. Across the world, people invest in art as an investment for the return part. So, how does somebody say who doesn't understand art and who wants to invest in certain things? So do you have any kind of channel where you can guide people, or somewhere you can handhold them?
Yeah, sure, sure. See, it depends how much, first of all, the budget of investment. Second of all, art as an investment, people now have started working on their portfolios. So whenever you're buying an art, you should be very, you should actually make sure that the certifications are proper. They're authentic. There should be gallery certifications, and that is how. So I think the originality and the source from where it's coming, it is very, very important to look. And of course, upon the budget, when you actually go through a gallery, you will be guided what are the artists that you should invest in. What so eventually, if you're looking as in just buying and selling, then you look that. Otherwise, what people see is a long-term goal, that what they like, they want to put it across, and then eventually they want to look it as an investment. That's where the senior artists come in picture. But my take is you should even look out for a lot of younger artists where the galleries have handhold them.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Any questions for Purva related to her work, her story, her inspirational story, actually, I would say. So Purva, I have a question. Like, why Bini Doshi? Like, I mean, why did you pick them as compared to anybody? I mean, Ahmedabad is like, you have so many options to pick.
So again, there is a story in that too, Aditi. We had another architect designing it for us. And Doshi Sahib tends to be, so Radhika Ben and Doshi Sahib tends to be very close to my father-in-law. And he had come for one of his NGO opening. And I said, you know what, I have always inspired, I have always loved his work of what he's done modestly. And that's when I said, I would love to meet him and talk about my project, that what does he think about it. And so very, very casually we met him and we spoke about it. And that time his granddaughter was just stepping in his firm working. And Kushnu's husband is Zonke, he's from Germany. So he made us meet and he said, why don't you guys discuss something and do something interesting for the city when you're already planning something art and culture for the city. And
Right.
that's how I had to say no to another architect who was already working for, and I just got way too excited to start. And again, Kushnu and I, we're same age, so the wavelength also matched. She exactly saw what I was talking and what we were expecting out of it, and that's where it just clicked and it happened.
Okay, we have a question on the chat from Sushma, and the question is, what is the time period we should look for if we are thinking of investment in artwork?
So time period as in time period for sale or time period to buy?
I think she means time period from the time you buy to maybe the time the art appreciates. I guess that I think.
How does a gallery and an artist work basically? An artist with whose hand is not held by a gallery will have a lesser value. But an artist, so most of the galleries, how they work across India or in the world is all the bigger artists or all the artists are associated with the gallery and they work only through galleries. So that's the galleries showcase them everywhere across, and that makes their value at a higher level. And then the investors, the collectors who come in, and that's where again the prices of the artist artwork and the artist goes up. So there is no fixed time period of when you should buy and when you should sell, but you should look out for there are a lot of collectors who look out for younger artists and they invest in the younger artist, and when they become big and they sell it off, or they take another artwork. So sell it off is not a good word, but yeah, they exchange their artworks, or that's how the whole process works. So it's like, it's not going to be investment like stocks right away, it goes up and it goes down. It is a matter of time.
So, adding to that question, say I buy an artwork, say, worth 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs from you, 079. It would be wise to keep you in the loop and, maybe at a later point, 10 years or 20 years down the line, to go back to you if I had to get it exchanged with someone, right? I mean, that would be the best. You can't hear
Yes,
you.
it would be the best because you would have a gallery certificate. It would be very good that the gallery only takes it forward from there, and they'll be the best. They'll be able to value the art as well.
Right,
It
right.
will help you evaluate the art. But there are again art valuations in the city. There are art valuations across the city. There are museums, there are other galleries. So not necessary if you cannot approach that gallery, like if you bought an art from say Delhi or Bangalore, and if you don't want to approach them, you can go through valuators and get it valued and then put it up in the market through a local gallery as well.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
What else? Anybody has any suggestions for, I don't know, like maybe a question or something that you want Purva to bring to the city? She's done ceramics, she's done art, she's done kids activity workshops. But if someone has any other suggestions, we can give it to her right now, and maybe she'll look into it.
Yes, I would love that. Any other suggestions that people want out of the 079 stories, or anything that they look forward to having it, which they've seen? I can definitely try working towards it, and that would be great.
Yes, Deval has raised a hand. Deval, you can come live and ask your question. Okay, no, you need to unmute yourself, Deval.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Hi, Purva.
Hi,
Good
Deval.
talk. Hi, Aditi and Amy. First of all, congratulations to both of you for starting something which is needed.
Thank you,
bring
Deval.
back a lot of dynamic women in the same platform. And good that you have a very creative soul, Purva, to start with.
Definitely.
Purva, I have one question, which is because I'm always in the money kind of a girl. You know, most of the Western countries, they run a very systematic art fund. And, people, just like stock exchange, they make money out of it. But in India, somehow, whatever people have done it in the past or floated has failed miserably. So what is your take? Because now a lot of young generations like us is, entering into that spree, who can think about art and understand money also. You think art fund will have a good value going forward?
I think so. If it's done in a right way, the reason we failed miserably in India is because the motive behind art was not right. There was a time when art actually dipped down quite a lot, and the art fund, and that was a major role that was taken. That people tried to make a lot of money through art, and that's where it miserably failed. So today, if you see, there is no real valuation of the art. How do they value art? It's upon an artist. Like there is the artist, and it's 1 lakh per square feet, and we have to believe that artist. So there is no actual like you are a builder, right? There is a country. There is no price for an art. So, and that's the reason where we are struggling at this point. But I
True.
think looking ahead, we should get like young minds and younger generation galleries should get into art fund, and it will make a lot of sense because art is the next people are looking
Investment
at
class. So you think that, somebody should come forward and do it. So better you start, Purva.
I think right now my hands are quite full. Let me settle down for some time, and maybe why not? I'm not saying no to it. Why not?
Why
True.
not?
You can definitely be with me to do that. Both of us can plan in conceptualize something.
Devas
No, no, no.
definitely
But
will be an investor as she has shown interest and she
true,
wants her
true,
money
true.
growing multiple folds.
No, no.
Yes,
Wish you all the best for to Aditi and Amy both for this, and
thank
Purva for
you.
all the plans that you discussed during the seminar.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you, Dev.
Thank you, Devan.
Anybody else? Any questions for Purva Damani?
I think there is a question on the chat, Aditi.
Okay, yeah, let me open.
Somebody
Sorry, I
put
missed it. Yeah. Okay, it's from Pinky Godiawala. What is your take on annual show exhibitions? I mean, is it worth investing in young artists?
Um, as I said, younger artist depends. See, an artist is valued on how it is handled by a gallery. So gallery and artist go hand in hand. I personally believe if you have a right eye, I personally believe in investing in a lot of young artists, but you have to have the right eye towards investing in them and what is their future plans and what, because a lot of student who pass out and do the are a part of the annual show, you don't know how they'll progress in next 2 years. So you also need to know their future plans. I personally invest a lot in younger artists, and buy a lot from the annual art shows as my personal collection. But it again depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at a bigger investment or a turnaround, then you'll have to wait and watch, because you will have to know the artist trend of how he is also evolving.
But Purva, adding to that question, say someone like, I mean, someone like me who know the big artists, but I mean, I do not know who is the upcoming, like, budding artist, and I would like to invest in that. It would be wise if I consulted you, and so basically an art consultant who you are, to invest rather than just go my own route, because then the risk is less, and your opinion is definitely more research, and you know more about it, right? I mean, that would be the right way, you think?
I think so. It is always better to get somebody's opinion and see a trend of the artist, of what they are planning to do and how they want to. What is their next plans after getting graduated? This was actually on the annual shows that Pinky asked the question.
Yes.
But yes, definitely it's good to take somebody's opinion, and have a consultant on board. But I think, Aditi, then you'll end up paying the consultant way more than the artwork, because these annual art shows, artworks are not that expensive.
But then how would you know what to buy? You have to go with your gut.
As I said, look at the trend of the artist, look at his thought process. What is he
Okay.
thinking? You will be able to understand by that only if you want to get into a student-based artist.
Okay, got it.
So even the they have a track record with the gallery still for 5. So they have been out of the college and practicing since like 5-7 years, and that is the trend artist that we've taken. It's not an artist who have just moved out of college and looking for something to be exhibited. So my online sale under 20,000 was also the artist who had experience of at least 5 to 7, 8 years. So you could see a trend of the work that they had done and how they've evolved, and that's how you actually look at a younger emerging artists.
Got it. Anything else?
So this
Any more
becomes more of
questions?
an art talk than an entrepreneurial talk, I feel.
Yes, because art is a topic, I think, which I think intimidates a lot of people, and also I mean, a lot of people are curious as well, because they want to buy, but they're too scared to invest, because they don't know how to or how much to. And
there is a lot of apprehension about how much is fake and how much is real.
yes.
And if you're putting in so much money, what are you sure? There is a lot of thoughts that go around buying an art if you are looking at a senior artist, and if you're spending a lot of money, investing a lot of money in art. So there is
Yes.
a lot of things that go behind art, and I think one should be really thorough with the artists that they want to buy. And at the end, whatever you, even for investment, whatever pleases your eyes and whatever you like and whatever appeals your soul, you have to live with art 24/7. It has
That's
to
true.
have a story, it has to connect to you. So no matter what kind of investment, how much, what is the budget of investment, it has to touch your soul. That's all I believe in.
That's true. That's true. Well, on that note, if anybody has any more questions, we are open for another 5 minutes, and then we'll close the loop and conclude here.
You guys are doing a fab job, Aditi and Amy. I'm sure this lineup of the speakers are also going to be great, and look forward to this more webinars and connecting more with different topics and more entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much, Purva. Thank you so much. And yeah, so on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. All I want to say is, Purva, congratulations and keep upping your game and improving the cultural scene of Ahmedabad. Absolutely changed it rather than improved. You made it happen now, and we wish you all the best. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you.
Magic.